Welcome. In front of me is an HONOR MagicPad 4, and today I will show you how you can go through the setup process of this device. So, when you boot it up for the first time, you should be presented with this screen that you can see on my end. And in here we just got one option, which is click on the arrow, and next we can select our desired language. Now, if you have a pen, it doesn't work throughout the setup process, so don't worry, it's not broken, it's just at the moment unavailable to you, unless it's going to connect now. Nope, it does not. So yeah, so ignore the pen for now. I'm going to be using my finger. So here, select your desired language from the list, which it's English, which is what I want to use right here, so I don't need to do anything. But before you go any further, if you are visually impaired in any kind of way, you can check out the reading aid. In here we have a couple options that you can utilize to maybe help you better navigate your device. So we have things like magnification, so you can turn it on so you can do like tap and hold to basically zoom in the screen, make everything bigger. We have text size, this just allows you to increase the actual fonts. And then we have also high contrast text, though it doesn't really look much different. Oh no, it does a little bit, though I don't think it's going to be visible on a recording, but I definitely don't like that. Yep. So it looks like it has a little bit of like a white outline around it. And then we have also high contrast buttons. So it just looks like it makes them gray. Oh, and the filling of that circle right there gets a little bit more blue. So not much of a difference right here. Now I believe there is, I don't believe, I know that there's more options in settings after the setup has been completed by going into accessibility. And there you can find other things like, for instance, text to speech, for instance, or just straight up like the, I don't remember how it's called, but basically the option where it reads literally everything that is on the screen, and you can just swipe up or down to select the next thing in line, and double tapping it, whatever is selected, and stuff like that. So this is just straight up for like if you're blind completely, you can even use that. But anyway, I'm going to keep without any of these, so let's select continue now, and then we can select our desired region. Now I'm going to select hopefully Poland if it's here. C, D, E. Come on, where's Poland? Come on, it's almost there. Oh, there we go, Poland. Now, regardless if where you live, I actually recommend selecting a region that is part of European Union. That would be, for instance, Poland or anything else. And reason for this could be potentially fully baseless. I haven't had the chance to ever be able to test it out, but in case it ever is useful, it's best that you have it. And selecting region for the most part has literally no impact on the usability of your device. But the reason I recommend choosing it is because European Union countries, obviously, are part of European Union. Water's wet. And European Union is very consumer friendly when it comes down to laws like that would dictate what companies can do. Something that, for instance, US is definitely in the complete opposite direction. So when some companies start doing something that is very monopolistic, very anti-consumer, typically European Union might just step in and enforce some changes, which companies that would be starting to lose a lot of money from this change, they might only implement this in European Union. Therefore, if you're selecting it, hopefully in this case, you would be included in that change. But for instance, like I said, if something is losing this company a lot of money, they might not change this in any other region. So if you're from US, hey, I might be able to do something that you potentially could not. And one of those kind of instances could potentially be sooner or later, once Google decides to push further with this, the blocking of installing applications from outside of Play Store. If European Union consider this to be too much of a monopolistic choice, they could enforce that we as Europeans can just continue installing them, while US, well, screw you, you can just get them from Play Store as Google wants you to. So that could potentially be very useful. And like I said, it has basically no downsides anyways. Anyway, next we have terms of use. So we have end user software license agreement, which basically means that you supposedly can do anything with this, hack it or anything like that, because you'd be taking control over your own device. Oh no, that's bad. Sarcastically speaking, obviously, it's just bullshit. Anyway, next we have basic service statements, which are not required, so we can just ignore those. And then we have, oh no, sorry, we actually need to agree to these. We don't need to agree to the user experience improvement programs, which is basically sharing data with Google, which this will actually show up again. Next we have connect to network, which is an optional step. You can skip this if you don't want to. It's completely fine. Device protection. So here we can protect our device in two different ways, either through face recognition or PIN pattern or password. Now, if you're planning to use face recognition, you will actually be forced to select PIN pattern or password because biometrics, meaning face recognition, isn't always 100% reliable. So in the times where it fails you, you can just do that using PIN pattern or password. Or you can just skip protecting your device altogether. Now, I will say, do as I say, not as I do, but I'm going to be skipping this. And reason for me skipping this is because this is work device instead of personal one. If this was personal, I would set some protection up as well. Now next we have Google services, and we have a bunch of them right here, which I'll try to go as fast as I can explaining them, but I generally will tell you to turn off everything in here just because it's all bullshit. So we have use location and allow scanning, both because both get turned off at the same time. So use location basically allows applications and services with location permission to use your device's location. Location accuracy uses information about wireless signals such as Wi-Fi access points, mobile network towers, and GPS. Now this basically only prevents applications from technically being allowed to use this, but just because they're not allowed to do something doesn't prevent them from doing it. Just look at Zuckerberg. He doesn't give a shit about, oh no, you denied us location services or you do something else. Yeah, we're still going to get that information. You can just screw yourself and we won't tell you. We want this information because it makes us rich. And your personal privacy doesn't matter to us one single fucking bit. So this same kind of approach can be taken with every other company. Don't think for a second that when you deny permission to something, this application will basically abide by this. Now, for the most part, it's not really provable, but in certain cases, some very autistic people will find ways to prove this. And when they do, it's best that you have this off, because then when a class action lawsuit comes that company's way, you can be included in it because you denied them access to this. Now next we have allow scanning, allows apps and services to scan for Wi-Fi networks and nearby devices at any time, even when Wi-Fi or Bluetooth is off, which just kind of means that your Bluetooth and Wi-Fi, even when it's off, it's not actually off, it's just bullshitting you. So again, turn it off for future purposes. Now last toggle in here is the send user and diagnostic data. So help improve your Android device experience by automatically sending diagnostic device and app usage data to Google. Yeah, no, you don't need that. If you want this, you can do what everyone else does to you, which is pay for it. You already paid premium price for this device. So there's no reason why you should be sharing any goddamn data with any company right here. You did your part. You paid premium price for this. Your data should be your data. Now again, Google doesn't give a shit about permission for the most part, so they'll probably be gathering it one way or another, with or without your permission usually, I would say, though allegedly. But again, turn it off just for that purpose, because any class action lawsuit, you can be included in for this purpose. And one more thing to kind of give you. This is Google wanting to gather your data, which they don't use usually to improve any of your experience. They use it to basically sell it. So then, you can get targeted advertisements, which is not fun, and it doesn't really benefit you. Improving your experience isn't through target advertisements, so turn that shit off. And furthermore, it's in Google's best interest to improve the usability and feature set of their own operating system, so you as a user have more incentive to come back to it as your next device. And it's not through sharing your data. If I'm paying for something, I'm requiring something. I'm paying it with my data here. So it's not potentially improvement. I expect it to be improved, and even that is kind of a, I would say, bad explanation, considering it's probably not going to come this generation of whatever I have right here. So this better be improved on the next one, but if it's not, I don't need to buy it. I can just go for iPhones, for instance, or iPads. So disregard this, completely turn it off and move on. And lastly, and probably the worst one, is the install updates and apps. So by continuing, which is already basically stating that it's a blackmail right here, you agree that this device may also automatically download and install updates and apps from Google. Now, this doesn't give you an option right here because Google doesn't want you to have an option. You can potentially turn off updates of your system and applications in settings after the setup, but this actually isn't talking specifically about that. It's more kind of going around the fact that it's more or less referring to OTA update services, which is a background process that is responsible for installing shit that you wouldn't want on your device sometimes. Also, it's responsible for installing security patches, which is good. But in recent timing, companies have started using this garbage, this malware in a way, to do things that you wouldn't want them to do. For instance, Sony Xperia phones used to have an application that would allow you to connect your phone to the Sony Alpha camera and use that phone as a basically screen for that camera, a big one. But Sony decided, you know what, screw you, we're not getting enough money for our already overpriced device. We're now introducing subscription, and that is coming through OTA update services. That application no longer functions as it did, and as it did is probably what you bought the phone for. And throughout using this phone, Sony decided that they're going to switch it, and now that same application, without you ever updating it yourself or even turning off application updates, right, is now requiring you to have a subscription. Yay. Same thing goes for Samsung fridges. Those got an update to display ads now on a $3,000 fridge, which happened after people purchased the fridge, like a year or so. So again, that was done through the same bullshit. So if you don't like this, if you don't want the company to change the terms of purchase after the purchase, you can actually download an application that will allow you to view background processes, such as the OT update services, and just straight up delete it. You know what? I will take my chances with software exploits and malwares and hacks rather than the company being able to change the terms of purchase after the purchase. This just kind of seems like a malware in itself. So I might as well get rid of it. But it's up to you. Next, we have data and privacy, which is kind of funny coming from HONOR, which is also Huawei. But, you know, we're just going to click on continue. It doesn't really matter what they're trying to or bubble your eyes with. So, next we have enhanced services. This is basically the same thing from what we've seen from Google, which is basically send user and diagnostic data. So, no thanks. Location services. We can keep them off. When an application needs them, it will prompt you that it will refuse to work without it, and way. So you can then turn it on for that application. Keep your software up to date. Now, if you don't want to keep it automatically updated, you can click right here, update manually, and ignore. And next we have system navigation, so gestures or buttons. I'm going to stick with gestures, which is selected, and I can select finish. And try now, and this takes me to the home screen with the device fully set up. So with that being said, I hope you found this very helpful, and if you did, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and thanks for watching.